Edward stood in the cold, staring at the empty space where his son, Ethan Reid, had vanished days ago. The search had hit a wall. No ransom, no clues. His mind was racing when a small voice interrupted his thoughts. "My dog can find your son." Edward turned, caught off guard by a 14-year-old girl standing in front of him, holding a scruffy mutt, its fur matted and dirty, a dog that looked like it had not seen a bath in months. The words seemed absurd. Skepticism surged through him, but he had run out of options. With a reluctant nod, he followed her into the unknown. Hi, dearest viewer. If you're enjoying this story, a quick like or subscribe would be such a blessing. It helps me share more heartfelt stories with you. And if you don't mind, tell me where you're watching from. I read every single comment with a smile. Now, let us get back to the story. Edward Reid, one of the wealthiest men in the world, was used to getting what he wanted. Whether through sheer power, money, or influence, he had always been able to solve problems. But this was different. His son, Ethan Reid, had been kidnapped, and the usual methods, his billions, his connections, were failing him. There was no ransom, no demand, no evidence. For the first time in his life, Edward was helpless. Edward arrived at his estate, the sprawling mansion filled with a sense of urgency and tension. He had been frantically searching for his son for days, but there were no leads. Nothing made sense. Edward had been working through his private security, trying to pull every string he could, but all efforts had been in vain. Days passed. Then a call came. "Mr. Reid, there's a little girl here, says her dog can help find your son." Edward, skeptical but desperate, agreed. When the girl arrived, Edward didn't know what to expect. She was young, small, with dirt-streaked hands and a quiet, determined gaze. The dog, Buck, was scrappy but seemed oddly confident. "My dog can find your son," she repeated. Edward followed the girl, Enola, into the dense forest. "Buck can track him," Enola said. Her calm confidence unsettled him, but he was willing to try anything at this point. Enola explained how she had trained Buck to use his heightened senses. The dog's keen sense of smell, sight, hearing, and touch had been sharpened through years of training. Enola had even given Buck a piece of Ethan's clothing to help him pick up Ethan's scent and guide them through the forest. As they moved deeper into the woods, Edward began to sense something. Buck was more than just a dog. He was focused, intent, leading them with purpose. The forest was dense and quiet, but Buck's behavior made it clear they were on the right path. They were getting closer. Enola's eyes remained fixed ahead. "Buck can do this. He can find him." Suddenly, the dog stopped, his body tense. He sniffed the air, then bolted toward a dense thicket. Enola gave a sharp command, and Buck led them straight to a hidden clearing. They arrived at a dilapidated cabin, its windows dark and still. Two armed men stood watch. Buck charged first, attacking with swift precision. He knocked one guard off his feet, biting into his arm, while the other guard struggled to draw his weapon. Edward rushed in, tackling the second guard to the ground, disarming him quickly. The fight was over in seconds. Inside the cabin, Marcus Volkov, the mastermind behind the kidnapping, awaited them. "You have come far," he said, smirking, "but it is too late. The boy's already mine." Ethan, tied to a chair, was alive but shaken. Volkov had orchestrated this for more than just money. There was a twist that Edward hadn't expected. Enola stepped forward, her gaze unwavering. "Why did you take him?" Volkov's smirk faded. "You really don't know, do you?" Edward's stomach churned as Volkov continued. "You see, Ethan Reid is the last link I need to secure my future. His mother was once my partner. We shared business interests in a project that could change the world.
But she betrayed me, taking what was rightfully mine, an investment I had developed for years. When she disappeared, I thought it was over. But then Ethan came into the picture. He's been living with the secrets of her legacy. Edward's face hardened. You kidnapped my son because of some business rivalry? Volkov nodded. It was never about the money. It was about reclaiming what was stolen from me. And now that I have him, I can finish what we started. Your son, he's the key to unlocking a fortune. Enola stepped forward, her expression fierce. You don't understand. Ethan isn't a pawn in your game. He's just a child. Volkov laughed coldly. And that child will serve my interests. Suddenly, Buck lunged at Volkov, distracting him long enough for Edward and Enola to move in. The situation spiraled into chaos. As Volkov's guard launched a final attack, Buck was shot. No! Enola cried, rushing to her fallen dog. Edward's heart sank, but he stood firm. We finish this, for Buck, for Ethan. With the intervention of Edward's security team, Volkov was arrested. The kidnapping case had come to an end, but the deeper motivation behind it had shaken Edward to his core. As Volkov was led away, Edward turned to Enola, who was still kneeling beside Buck's lifeless body. I can't believe it was all because of that business deal. Enola wiped her eyes. People will do anything for power, Edward. You've seen it firsthand. In recognition of Enola's pivotal role in the rescue, Edward Reid honored her by building a training center dedicated to canine search and rescue, where Enola would oversee the operation. The center, named Buck's Haven, would provide specialized training for dogs like Buck, ensuring they could help in locating missing persons in the future. Enola, now regarded as an expert in her field, eventually returned to school to become one of the most formidable detective agents in the state. She used her unique skills to aid in investigations, especially those requiring tracking and canine expertise. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more thrilling tales. Let us know what you think about the ending. Do you think Enola and Edward made the right choice? And hit the notification bell so you never miss a chapter. Thanks for watching.